Aho! Greetings to you all. Aaron Auer here, R.O.A.R Ministries, reviving Oregon's amazing roots, which is O-R-Y-G-U-N-S, meaning carrying Bible and rifle in hand, like those old pioneers of faith and circuit riding preachers. And we're here to share some wonderful, rich heritage of the state of Washington and Oregon, because Oregon, Washington, Idaho, some of Montana and Wyoming, even up into British Columbia and down into Northern California, is the old Oregon Territory. And this man right here of the old Oregon country, he Hokasteeken, did something so historic and monumental that it shook the nation. When he walked nearly 3,000 miles, estimated, to find the Book of Heaven. That's what they did. They showed up at the doorstep of General Clark, him and 3 other Nez Perce braves, making request for the Book of Heaven, the Bible. And can you imagine the Indians showing up looking for the truth? Because many of them had such a desire to walk with Creator and to obtain His favor in this life and the life to come. So when they showed up unannounced, and it was circulated around the nation there in 1833, they identified this as the Macedonia Call of the West. The Indians were inviting us to bring the Book of Heaven, the Bible, and they chose the nation, the finest that God had been preparing. That man's name is Jason Lee. And he was thrust out here in 1834, established the Oregon Mission just south of here, some 45, 50 miles. But Jason Lee was here preaching at this historic location, Fort Vancouver, and we have the first message preached west of the Rocky Mountains, right here at Fort Vancouver. And I want to read it to us here. From the Oregon Historical Society, from September 28th, 1834. Jason Lee writes, essayed to preach to a mixed congregation. Remember, this took place right here. English, French, Scots, Irish, Indians, Americans, half-breeds, Japanese, etc., some of whom did not understand 5 words of English, found it extremely difficult to collect my thoughts or find words to express them, but am thankful that I am have been permitted to plead the cause of God on this side of the Rocky Mountains, where the banners of Christ were never before unfurled. Great God, grant that it may not be in vain, but may some fruit appear even from this feeble attempt to labor for Thee. Evening, preached again, but with as little liberty as in the morning, but still I find it good to worship God in the public congregation. My Father in heaven, I give myself to Thee. May I ever be Thine and wholly Thine, always directed by Thine unerring counsel, and ever so directed as to be most beneficial in the world and bring most of glory to the Most High, that I may at last be presented without spot and blameless before the throne. So here is a historic document that confirms this also in this book, The Conquerors, which it's very important to recognize. This was endorsed in 1907, published with the endorsement of the officers of the Washington State Historical Society. You see, this is common knowledge to our founding fathers and builders. This is a location that's so rich in spiritual treasure that we must revive these things. And so we're going to have a meeting. Jason Lee's going to show up. We have a whole display to show and tell of documentation, of books that are historic, and we actually have the first pulpit Bible brought west of the Rocky Mountains that this man sought for, he Hokistikin. We'll tell the story of how we found it, how the Lord directed it, and we are so excited to discover these things that have been hidden for a long time. But there is an opportunity for us to take our great state back for the Lord, for the sake of the heroes of faith, and yes, for these current day issues. How do we settle things? How do we resolve things? If we do what they did and sought the very one, the source, the Lord Himself, with these liberties and justice for all that established this great territory, the state of Washington, the state of Oregon, the whole Pacific Northwest. You know, Jason Lee represents us in Washington, D.C. with Bible and petition in hand. He petitioned for statehood with some Indian boys back in the 1838-9, and a great recruitment, reinforcement came over on the ship Luzon to establish other works. But you know who also came? Was the Whitmans, sending their best, the Presbyterians, as the Methodists sent theirs, and others. Even the Catholics sent their workers because they realized the Indians were inviting us to bring the Word of God, the Book of Heaven. How beautiful is that? So Marcus Whitman represents the state of Washington in Statuary Hall with another big Bible in hand, and the replica there in Olympia at the state capitol. So I urge and encourage all you fine citizens to come and hear and see undisputed, irrefutable evidence of our heritage being rooted in the gospel of Jesus Christ. So again, Aaron Auer here, R.O.A.R Ministries, reviving Oregon's amazing roots. Come join us there on the 28th, it's a Friday of March, at the Fisher's Grange, 6:30 p.m., and we're going to tell and show and tell with indisputable evidence that we're rooted in the gospel of Jesus Christ. Come expecting, and all your children come, and they'll be blessed and glad they did. And you'll want to tell everybody else. We'll see you there.